Hey everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan, and this is the second video for you today. Yeah, I just couldn't mix the SEC news with all the great updates that are coming from Asia. So I want to just cover this story first. You probably saw a very similar headline that Malaysia is the next El Salvador. Communications minister proposes the adoption of Bitcoin as legal tender. Well, this really wasn't totally correct. It should have said, and I'm going to show you the headline from Bitcoin.com, which is the media that Roger Ver has. Malaysian ministry proposes legalizing NFTs to boost participation in crypto sector. That is correct. Roger, good job. If you don't know Roger, he is the person who hard forked Bitcoin Cash from Bitcoin back in 2017. Oh gosh, if you weren't around for that, maybe consider yourself lucky because that was an emotional and turbulent event. Yeah, okay. Well, getting back on track. You know, I do want to say though, Roger Ver almost single-handedly made Bitcoin happen in terms of adoption here in Japan as one of the first countries in the world, because he was literally boots on the ground going to retail operations, small merchants of all sorts and all sorts of different sectors, and getting them to accept Bitcoin as payment. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. So what you want to know, though, is that everybody was following an article that was written by Bloomberg on this. And Bloomberg, well, they just didn't get it quite right. In fact, they really didn't have all the quotes from the minister from Malaysia. And, you know, the minister from Malaysia never once mentioned Bitcoin, nor did he say anything about legal tender. This was a total spin from the writers of Bloomberg. If you research, and you can research the Malaysian media that's in Malay or in English, this is all about the legalizing of the NFT platforms. And it did have a little bit of mention of some crypto mining, but it was for the young people who are active in this space. And it would be done under the purview of the central bank and the Securities Commission. It's great news. Yeah, definitely great news. But no, it isn't anything like what El Salvador has done. Moving along. Boy, did I receive a lot of questions about this. This is the Project Dunbar. Project Dunbar started last summer out of the Bank of International Settlements, the BIS Innovation Hub in Singapore, and it is developing a platform for the CBDCs, the central bank digital currencies, the Central Bank of Singapore, Malaysia, Australia, and South Africa. And we now know that this is an R3 project. They will manage and power it with Corda. And they'll enable these settlements between the four banks in line with the G20 roadmap for enhancing the cross-border payments, and they're going to do it through atomic settlement. This is like a swap, and they can do it because they're all on the shared ledger, and it will probably most likely be with a smart contract for clearing. The atomic settlement with smart contracts was introduced on Corda by R3 back in 2018. So we shouldn't be surprised. Not everything is going to run on the XRP ledger. In fact, I think you're going to have central banks that are offering 2 or 3 different solutions at the same time. That's just the way it is. It's a big space out there. And R3 is going to have a large portion of that business. This video is packed, and it's packed with updates. I'm sorry I couldn't do a short today because there is just so much going on. I hope you stay until the end. I hope you watch the fluff that I put together for you. But I want to say that this is the feature for the video. I'm not going to have you wait. I want to demonstrate on the heels of talking about that Project Dunbar that the world is very large and the payments pie is just huge. What you want to understand is that SBI Holdings, which is the largest outside shareholder of Ripple here in Japan, acquired a bank in May 2020 called Liaoer Bank. And then it was a year later that SBI Ripple Asia laid down RippleNet payment rails from Liaoer Bank in Cambodia to another bank that SBI owns in Vietnam called TP Bank. And so we have those rails, and it was, I think, a very start of what you're going to see now. On Facebook, I found that on March 22nd, Liaoer Bank announced Tranglo as a partner. Tranglo is an ODL company. They use the digital asset XRP for on-demand liquidity. No, not in every corridor, but those corridors that have liquidity and have the green light for regulation. It is a company that Ripple also owns 40% stake. And so you can see in this particular ad, they're advertising 8 corridors for cross-border transfers: Malaysia, Singapore, Australia, Philippines, Japan, South Korea, Vietnam, and Thailand. This is really a part of the world that is just getting buttoned up with RippleNet. Here I am on a 3-page PDF, which is a service specification for Tranglo, and they highlight that they have the best coverage for the Asian Pacific and Southeast Asian corridors with over a decade of cross-border remittance experience, especially high-traffic corridors like the Philippines, Indonesia, and Vietnam. And when we just kind of sit back and take a breath, we really can see that there are going to be many players in this space because it is so huge. And so I think for the APAC region and Southeast Asia, RippleNet's going to be very successful. And I think you're going to see the on-demand liquidity grow as time allows for those regulations to be put in place. Well, I'll tell you, there is so much happening in Asia. The next 5 updates we're going to hit in rapid fire, and it's all from Japan. First off, we have the Crypto Asset Trading Association. On the 22nd, they announced that they've created a green light system for screening new crypto assets to be listed in the country. This association was formed to raise awareness and also to have a consistent voice. It's so Japanese. The culture here is deeply rooted in no nail should stick out. So they work in concert to have this uniformed voice. It was back in October they received 80 applications and only 18 made the final list. We're going to see the details at the end of this month. We have seen Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP are on the list, but we need to wait to see the final details. The way they work is the applications are examined and then individually evaluated. Then the results are shared and they put them into categories. They've got the green light category, the category where there still needs to be work done in order to get on the green light category. And then there's the rejected category. Rejected would definitely be a privacy coin. Those have been totally eliminated from the country. So this consensus is done by 31 total exchanges. It's highly regulated. It's very transparent. All the monthly transaction data is actually shared with the public. So it does work very organized, in a very organized fashion. But yeah, that's just the way it's done here in Japan. All right. Now, the next is a little bit of information coming from SBI. They have an NFT site, and they're working with a company that is bringing the graduation certificates to the form of an NFT. I think it really makes sense. I think it's, going to be a very successful use case. And then next week, Tokyo has their big FinTech Summit. You can see close to 100 speakers. Mr. Kitao is right at the top there. Within all these speakers, about 28 of them come from the traditional banking world. And it's going to be, it's always a big event, and it will show up online, recorded. The one interesting person I thought was surprising, not the governor of the Bank of Japan, he's always there, But I was surprised to see the SEC crypto czar, as she is called, Valerie Saspanik, on that lineup of speakers. She was also working for Hinman. So very interesting that she is there. And then next, Japan. They have an exchange here called CoinCheck, and it's the largest in terms of its selection of crypto assets. And they're going public in the United States, and it's being done in a rare SPAC deal. These are blank check mergers, and it's being done with Thunderbridge Capital. It's a $1.25 billion deal, and once the deal closes, the combined company will be domiciled in the Netherlands. Talk about global, right? And then last but not least from Japan, we have Naomi Osaka. She is the superstar tennis player. She has been chosen by FTX, which is an exchange that's really making some successful moves in the space. She is going to have a role to bring further awareness of the crypto asset industry to women. So there you go, your update from Japan. Now we're going to jump to Thailand. Thailand is crypto friendly, but maybe even more regulated than Japan in many ways. Trading, buying, selling crypto assets, okay. Encouraged even. They lowered the tax until next year by 7%, but the regulators don't want crypto accepted as a payment, especially to retailers. So starting April 1st, that's the law. This really impressed me. This is Terra Luna. Look at what CEO Do Kwon revealed. Plan to increase his UST's Bitcoin reserve to 3 billion, and he's not stopping there. The Singapore-based Luna Foundation has the goal of hitting 10 billion. Compare that to Satoshi, the pseudonym for the unknown group or person who is believed to have around 40 billion in Bitcoin. And then Michael Saylor with the biggest corporate stash, he's got about 4.5 billion. So you can see this is just incredibly bullish, and it is really great for the ecosystem. All right, everybody, we're jumping to the fluff, and I'm taking you to Hokkaido. This is the island that is far north, and it is one of the most beautiful parts of the country. To get an idea of where you are here, follow my mouse. That is Tokyo, and this is the island of Hokkaido. It is just really lovely. It has a lot of snow in the wintertime, but it is most beautiful. And there is a company up there called Askal Kaban. They practice the strong philosophy called mottainai. That means not to waste anything. Kids in Japan have this book bag, this leather book bag. It is part of the mandatory uniform, and they will use them for 6 years. And parents often spend over $1,000 for them. They come in every color under the sun. Well, this company is doing something quite remarkable. They are transforming the bags into accessories if you're willing to wait the 6 to 9 months due to the wait list because there is such a demand. But they will turn them into wallets, keychains, eyeglass holders, train pass holders, all types of accessories that you can think of. And it's really nice to see that the leather book bag has a purpose after it has been used for 6 years by the kids in school. I just love this idea, and I think the accessories are really sharp, super quality. You can see they're just something you would really enjoy. All right, everybody, do take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.